There has been lots of videos that I've been looking at on my video feed, on my YouTube feed, that the cost of living is actually going up. So for that, I'm trying to figure out how can we, why is it that we don't feel it, even though I know the cost of living is going up, everyone's struggling. I think it's because of certain things that we do in a regular basis that makes it's okay when certain things goes up in that, I guess, the cost of living going up, because we don't really feel it as much. It could be because I have these things where I've got them in place where it doesn't really affect us. It probably does affect us financially, however, it doesn't really affect us, I guess, like the feeling of it's going up. So here's where I'm at. So I found, I put down a few criteria, let's say, creative way to save money. This is based on our personal journey, our experience, and how we go about things in order for us to achieve FIRE. So it might be having these things in place, it's sort of like lower the burden, let's say, in terms of lifestyle creeps, or when you feel like everything goes against you. I feel like if you have a budget, for example, a certain week or a certain month or on a regular basis, you're bound to have an income somewhere from a job of some sort, or from your business if you're a business owner. You kind of need to know your budget. And if you budget it quite well, nothing is a surprise. That's what I found. I found that if I budget correctly, nothing will come to a surprise. When we're going out as a family, I've already budgeted a certain amount. When every week we have a portion, let's say, and if there's not enough in there, obviously you have to juggle between one section to another section of the budget. Another one would be automate your saving. For us, part of the budgeting would be automate a certain portion. So for example, if we're going to go out as a family and it's going to cost us roughly $100 or so, $200, or whatever it is that you're going out as a family, we've already budgeted that. So when we go out, when we physically do those experiences, it's not a surprise for us. Likewise, with our investment, we do it automatically. With our saving account, do it automatically. With budgeting of, I guess, taking care of the house, we do that automatically. So every time I get paid, 2 days later, I always spread it accordingly, automatically, at the very minimum. There's a certain amount of adjustment here and there that I have to deal with, but it should not take you more than 5 or 10 minutes of your day. Start meal prepping. For us, we buy things in bulk in Costco. When we buy in a big portion, we have to then meal prep throughout the week, maybe a fortnight. So having meal prepping is sort of like, it's not a surprise when you're, hey, I need a certain figure, a certain dollar figure in order for us to take care of the groceries. And then the odd occasion, yes, we do eat out, only on a very small percentage. If you're lucky, it will be just maybe once a week, once a fortnight or so. Check your subscription. For us, our subscription has been consistent, let's say. Our bills, electricity bills, have been consistent now since we have solar. And for any subscription that you don't use or you don't touch within about, let's say, 2 or 3 months, you might want to consider, I guess, unsubscribing them or delete them. Pack your lunch. When you're doing your meal prepping, pack your lunch as well. I used to go out every single day for my job, where we have to go out and about, visiting from one location to another. When that happened, hey, I don't buy. Maybe the odd occasion, one day of the week, I'll buy. One day a fortnight, maybe. So that's what I do. That's sort of like my cheat day, when I don't really pack my lunch. But the rest of them really do pack my lunch. Leftovers, yes. For me, don't keep up with your colleague, let's say. It might look embarrassing in the beginning, but after a while, you get over it, and you kind of go, nobody really cares what you eat. I don't really care. In fact, now I'm like, every time I see somebody bringing their lunchbox, eating their lunch, is like, I know what you're going through. And it's like, oh, good on you. You're trying to save money. Another one would be join your library, your local library. Our kids love reading books because we go to the library quite frequently. We're talking about once a fortnight, once a week or so, because they go through a lot of books. Now, I would rather that joining the library where they can exchange and borrow a different book every couple of weeks or so instead of buying the books. Because once they buy the book, once they read it, that's it. It's over. It's not going to get reread again. Maybe the odd occasion, a year later, they're going to read it. But kids being kids, once they finish with it, they probably just move on and go to the next stage of their life. Next one would be keep an emergency fund. For me, emergency fund is the key. In case if anything happened, in case if anything broke. For example, our fridge just broke about last weekend, actually, last Sunday. On Saturday, I've noticed it started defrosting. On Sunday, it definitely is defrosting. I thought the door wasn't closed properly. So on a Sunday night, we ordered a new appliances with no hiccup, with no hesitation. We did do a couple of shopping around here and there, but we don't mind because that's part of an emergency fund, and that's what the emergency fund are for. Things that will break, so it's not a shock in the system. Comparing grocery prices. For me, we don't go to Coles, Woolies or Aldi here in Australia, which is a three big holder, let's say, of groceries market. We only go there for emergency in case we're running out before we actually go to Costco. But most of our fruit and veg actually comes from on a market across the road from I guess Coles, let's say. Coles or a little shopping hub or so, there's actually a fruit market. You'll be surprised how much money you can save when you go to a fruit market. Avoid ATM fees. We were at the airport a few days ago and my son wanted to buy a toy. And as soon as he ended the checkout, unfortunately in this particular, checkout, let's say, it's a self-service. And the self-service, because there's no one around me, I'm just, okay, I'll look around, waiting for the airplane. I looked at this surcharge. If you look at those surcharges, you'll be amazed how much money is actually depleting from your account. Some people don't count those little fees, those little ATM fees or surcharges. If it has fees in there, I'm willing to pay cash. But if there's no fees, okay, I can use my card. Some of them is like charging you a percentage, like 1%, 2%, whatever it is. It might not sound a lot, maybe just $1 or $2, but over time, over lots and lots of transactions, that can accumulate quite a lot. So we always choose the one that have 0% extra charges. Set a goal. For us this year, and in 2025, we're looking at increasing our net worth by another maybe 50 to 100,000 or so. It might be a struggle for some, but if you set a goal and figuring out a plan how to get there, you'll be surprised how quickly you can get there. I was so amazed in 2024, we were projecting only about $50,000 increase, but at the end it was $100 and something thousand increase. So if you put a set of goal on yourself, start with slow, start very low, you'll be amazed how much you can go. Find free events. For us, we try to do that as frequently as possible, if not as close to free. Here in Brisbane, everything is a little bit non-accessible with public transport, I say. It's not a public transport friendly and it's hot. So we try to do a lot of things that is indoor, that is free. Usually we just go around shopping center, but I found that if I go to shopping center, you ended up going to be buying stuff in there. Usually we go to the park, go for a walk around the beach, and go to the park that have, play equipment. Those are the things that we do as a family. The other occasion, my kids like going skating right now, so we do Paradise Skates. And in there, we bought 10 passes and we just bought the skates. And I know for sure my kids enjoyed this, so I use that as probably the low entry sort of expenses, part of our budget, and go to do those events when it rains. So most of the time we try to do an outdoor activity. cut down on spending as much as you can. Little things like maybe making your own coffee instead of buying a cup of coffee every week. Not every week, more like every day. So instead of buying an everyday cup of coffee, how about you just make your own at home? So that's what we do. We only go to maybe a cafe once a month or 2 months. I can't even recall when last time I actually go to a cafe. But the other occasion, when it's too hot, we go to 7-Eleven and get a Slurpee as well as iced coffee. That's probably it when it's too hot. Pay off your debt. The less debt that you have, the better it is for you. Earning an interest is much better than paying an interest. For me, the less debt that you have, the more freedom, the more relief and the more opportunity that you can do with your money. We try to pay off every single debt there is. Start a garden. I mean, for us, my wife in this garden, like, we planted this. If you have the facility over there, we have a vegetable patch garden in there. I take care of the grass, he take care of the plants, he take care of all of this as well. But yeah, I found it's very therapeutic, I say, if you're just starting a garden. You don't know. When I first started, I have no idea what I'm doing. I still don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, you can spend a good afternoon in here instead of just being cooped up inside of the house. That's if you have the space. I remember when I was in the apartment, we didn't have the space, so we had a raised up garden in wheels. So start from there. But I think secondhand, we try to do a lot of things secondhand. We just bought a projector in the house. We bought that from Facebook Marketplace. We've got an entertainment room. Most of the things in there is secondhand. We don't buy brand new. When we bought this house, we got given a TV, so we use the TV instead of buying a new TV. Our fridge, there's only certain things that I buy brand new. Like, for example, our fridge, we want it lasted for a long time, 10 plus years. So we want to buy brand new fridge. But the rest of them in this house, most of the time anyway, if it's not given to us as a gift, we probably buy secondhand. If you don't use things, sell it. For me, selling secondhand product, you'll be amazed the amount of money that you can get back, and then from there it is up to you what you do and declutter your house. For us, every time we sell things, that means we're going to use that money to, mostly anyway these days, it's going to investment, because there's at a certain level you kind of be tame on whatever it is that you have. So there's no point of just trying to chase more new product, because you find that you have everything that you need within your reach at a certain level. Buy generic product instead of actually buying branded product. We've changed from I can't tell the difference if I were to buy, when I go to groceries, buying a certain product name versus a generic product name. Can't tell the difference. Most of the time when you go to a restaurant, they give you the generic names anyway. So I figured, okay, I'll do the same. And overall, another one would be quitting bad habit. My biggest bad habit, I used to be a smoker, let's say. Then at a certain point, I realized that how much money it's actually costing us or costing me financially. Quit those bad habits. You'll be amazed how much money you can save over, say, 5, 10, 20 years if you invested that money. And it's not just only good, it's good for you, it also, financially anyway, you can go up with that money that you saved up. Use cashback app. There are certain cashback apps or loyalty reward without you having to pay for them. I don't use credit cards, I guess a reward system, let's say. I just use a cashback app. We use Shopback is one of them. There's an app that I use, what's it called? Jifty. Those the one that actually compare prices if you're thinking of buying brand new stuff. The other reward system that I use is just Woolworths reward, and then the other one is Flybuys, and that's it. I don't use any fancy points here and there. If you can, also, if you do have a loan, this is for the people out there that have credit card loan and want to get out of debt. do balance transfer. Sometimes you can give you a breather of, let's say, 6-12 months or so, or a year and a half of balance transfer. I did that when I was intentionally, it minimized the repayment for a certain amount, but at the same time I was paying it off as quickly as I can, as much as I can during those interest-free period. As soon as the balance drop, cut it off. As soon as, maybe even go to an extreme. Let's say if you borrowed or owed, say $10,000, as soon as it hit $9,000, request for the bank, hey, can you drop my limit to 9? And then if it drop again to a 7, hey, can you please cut my limit to 7, until all the way down to 1,000, and then all the way down to 0. That might be another way for people to I guess pay it off and don't have itchy fingers, let's say, and have those retail slippage. Avoid impulse purchases. Holidays is kind of be hard because you're going to get enticed with a lot of product and services that is on sale, especially maybe, for example, would be Boxing Day sales, Black Friday, this sale, that sale. When you're at home, you're bound to get being advertised a lot more. When we watch TV or YouTube, for example, you will have advertising in place, and sometimes it get trigger you and like, oh, do I really want this? So yeah, for me, definitely avoid the impulse purchases as much as you can. Unsubscribing from marketing emails. The amount of emails that I get, hey, this is on sale, that on sale. Those type of things I tend to actually avoid as much as I can. If I can see the unsubscribe button somewhere, I will go click on that. Generally speaking, it's always in the bottom of the email. To unsubscribe, click here. So I usually do that. The less of those things, even though it's a microsecond for you to do, it minimizes the chance of you going to be able to purchase something somewhere. So yeah. And then the last one will be reduce your energy consumption. For example, for us, at this stage, when we didn't have aircon, we usually open our windows. If it's not windows, we just use the fan. But if we're inside, if we are using aircon, then close the doors, close all the windows, and to keep all the cool air inside. Little things like that can get you a long way. We have a rule in this house that if, for whatever reason, our kids, for example, forgotten to turn off the aircon in the bedroom and they were doing something else, and we find out about it, it's going to cost them their pocket money. You'll be amazed how quickly they can remember and don't forget if money is being incentivized for them. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents based on our little experience, based on how we go about dealing with inflation's going up, cost of living goes up. So that's just our 2 cents. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.